Once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 10th week of our 21 CFR 117 CGMP Hazard Analysis and Risk-Based Preventive Controls for Human Food Familiarization Training. I'm Laura Lee from the Customer Success Team at Consultor Inc. Group. Last week, we discussed the grounds and road waste under 21 CFR 117 Subpart B Current Good Manufacturing Practices, Section 117.20 Plants and Grounds. This week, we'll focus our discussion under 21 CFR 117 Subpart B Current Good Manufacturing Practices, Section 117.20, focusing on the building materials requirements. These requirements are important because proper construction materials help prevent contamination, support effective cleaning, and maintain sanitary operations. Understanding and applying these standards strengthens your food safety system and help ensure a safer and more compliant facility. By the way, this free training session is sponsored by Consultor Inc. Group, a compliance company. Consultor Inc. Group is a registered U.S. government vendors and full-service GRC company specializing in compliance management, regulatory documentation, quality systems, cybersecurity, and digital transformation support. We operate as a remote virtual compliance department, enabling organization to achieve and maintain regulatory alignment through integrated consulting, GRC oversight, and software-enabled automation. Our services revolve around compliance management software, specialized training, and end-to-end support services that help organizations achieve and maintain compliance with international standards. Through our platform, interlinkiq.com, we offer an integrated compliance management system that streamlines documentation, monitoring, and audit readiness. We also provide dedicated compliance and certification support programs for FSBP, PCQI, SQF, BRCGS, FSSC 22000, QMS, GMP, and HACCP, helping businesses strengthen their regulatory compliance, enhance operational efficiency, and ensure alignment with global food safety and quality management standards. Let's review our training schedule. So this week, we'll focus on the requirements outlined in CGMP Section 117.20 Plants and Grounds. And our discussion will center on the building materials. Gaining a clear understanding of this requirement is essential to achieving and sustaining your compliance with FDA's current good manufacturing practices. And in today's session, we will begin with familiarizing ourselves with the building materials requirements. We'll start with a clear description of the requirements, followed by a walkthrough of the compliance action activities, which are scheduled, carried out on a daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly and semi-annual basis to ensure ongoing certification readiness. We'll also discuss the annual review and internal audit activities, which help verify program effectiveness and drive continuous improvement. You're encouraged to ask questions in the chat box, which will be addressed in next week's session. Participants may also request a free 90-day trial of our CGMP compliance management software to help manage compliance tasks, assign accountability, and stay audit ready. Finally, all participants will receive a familiarization training certificate, and please ensure you've completed the free certification familiarization training sign-up form shared in the chat. And on the screen, you will see the sample of the familiarization certificate you receive upon completing each session. And certificates are prepared and issued every Friday and Monday. So please allow our team to have more time to process it. With that, let's move forward to our training session, which will be working directly with the CGMP compliance management software. So let's start by going over the description of the building materials. Please take a look at the description on the screen, and the requirements are outlined here to make implementation easier. So it says here, cleanability and maintenance. floors, walls, ceilings, and fixtures must be constructed of materials that are durable, smooth, non-absorbent, and easily cleanable. These structures must be kept in good repair to prevent contamination from leaks, drips, or condensate. Adequate working space between equipment and walls must be maintained to allow proper cleaning, maintenance, and inspection, supporting hygienic operation and product safety. For space and layout, sufficient room must be provided for the proper placement of equipment and orderly storage of materials. The design and layout of the facility should support hygienic operations, allow efficient cleaning, and prevent cross-contamination. Adequate spacing minimizes congestions, improves workflow, and ensures compliance with food safety and sanitary standards. So you may update and edit the description as needed to reflect revision when new versions or editions are released. And to implement the program stated in the description tab, we've developed a list of action items located under the compliance tab. So this feature helps the QA manager or supervisor stay organized by scheduling tasks based on the required frequency, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or semi-annually. Here are some of the example of your compliance action items comply with the building materials. For your daily action items, so these may include verify working spaces around equipment are clear for cleaning and inspection access. Verify working spaces around equipment are clear for proper cleaning and that storage areas are orderly. For the weekly action items, measure and confirm adequate spacing between equipment and walls, inspect high-risk areas for cleaning effectiveness, confirm storage areas allow hygienic access and proper cleaning, and adjust storage layout as needed to improve workflow and minimize contamination risk. For the quarterly action item, conduct detailed inspection of floors, walls, ceilings, and fixtures, scheduled repairs if needed. Audit facility layout and workflow to ensure hygiene, proper cleaning access, and minimal cross-contamination risk. For the biannual action item, verify all building materials and facility layout comply with 21 CFR 117 cleanability and spacing requirements, and update procedures or SOPs and train staff based on review findings. Review maintenance, cleaning, and workflow trends, implement improvements as needed, and conduct mock inspection to ensure facility and records are inspection ready. So these action items are aligned with the industry's best practices, and you may either add your own compliance activities or have our team preload the required tasks to help ensure full compliance with the requirements under this section. Now, to complete these actions, we provided work instruction and detailed compliance activities in the instruction section, along with the required artifacts or records to document completion. And these instructions serve as your guide on how to complete each action item. For example, let's focus on one action item. So the requirements that states verify working spaces around equipment are clear for cleaning and inspection access. So to complete this action item, let's click on the corresponding work instruction here. So here are the steps that you need to perform. So step 1 is workspace clearance verification. Conduct routine walkthroughs to assess accessibility around equipment, confirm no stored materials, tools, or obstructions limit cleaning or inspection access, document any identified obstructions, and initiate corrective actions. And for the records, walk through inspection checklist, corrective action reports, photo documentation of cleared or corrected work areas. Step 2 is the equipment area housekeeping review. Review housekeeping practices to ensure aisle and working spaces remain unobstructed. Verify that staff follow designated storage and staging areas. communicate and retain personnel when recurring issues are observed. For the artifacts, housekeeping audit forms, training records or attendance logs, area cleanliness or organization logs. Step 3 is the pre-operational access validation. Confirm equipment is fully accessible during pre-op inspections. Verify pathways and workspaces meet clearance requirements before operations begin. Report any access limitation to maintenance or production for immediate correction. For the records, pre-op inspection records, pre-op corrective action logs, and pre-op verification sign-off sheet. Step 4 is the maintenance work area clearance check. Ensure maintenance activities do not leave tools or parts obstructing equipment access. Verify workspaces are restored to full clearance after maintenance tasks. Conduct follow-up check to confirm safe and accessible condition. For the records, maintenance clearance checklist, maintenance work orders, post-maintenance verification logs. Step 5 is the periodic layout and flow review. Review equipment layout to ensure adequate space for cleaning and inspection. Assess process flows for potential congestion points around equipment. Recommend layout adjustments when workspace becomes insufficient. For the artifacts, layout review reports, facility flow diagrams with updates, and management review minutes reflecting layout decisions. So, to comply with these requirements, you need to upload evidence of compliance. In this case, we have uploaded with the same action item a equipment access verification record. So, this record demonstrate that the working space around mixer number 3 was inspected to ensure it was clear and accessible for both cleaning and inspection activities. It confirms that no items or obstructions were present around the equipment, and all access points were reachable. And the surrounding floor area was clean and safe, and the verifier documented that the equipment area met all requirements and no corrective action were needed. And the reviewer's signature further confirms that the inspection was completed, verified, and compliant with the facility, food safety, and sanitation standards. So when you perform the activities and completed the supporting records, your compliance status will update from no to yes once approved by the reviewer and approver. And your goal is to perform all compliance activities according to their scheduled frequency to ensure that your facility, processes, and documentation remain fully audit ready. Once again, these are simply example of compliance best practices that you can adopt in your facility. You may also customize or develop your own action items tailored to your specific processes. Next, let's go over to the annual review tab, which also serve as your gap assessment tool. So this tab is designed as an internal audit checklist in the form of a questionnaire aligned with the 21 CFR 117 requirement. It lists all required annual review items to help you maintain compliance with the certification requirements. And here you'll find all the annual review items that should be reviewed to maintain compliance, and here are some of the example. Our floors, walls, ceilings, and fixtures inspected daily for damage, leaks, or condensation. Is sufficient working space around equipment verified daily to allow proper cleaning and inspection? Is equipment spacing between walls and other equipment measured and confirmed weekly? Are risk areas inspected weekly for cleaning effectiveness? Are storage areas checked weekly to ensure hygienic access and proper cleaning? Is storage layout adjusted as needed weekly to improve workflow and minimize contamination risk? Are floors, walls, ceilings, and fixtures thoroughly inspected quarterly and repairs scheduled if needed? If the facility layout and workflow audited quarterly to ensure hygiene, cleaning access, and minimal cross-contamination risk? Are all building materials and facility layout reviewed biannually for compliance with 21 CFR 117 cleanability and spacing requirements? Are procedures or SOPs updated and staff trained based on the biannual review findings? Are maintenance, cleaning, and workflow trends reviewed biannually and improvements implemented as needed? Are mock inspection conducted biannually to ensure facility and records are inspection ready? So just like the compliance tab, you can add work instruction or compliance activities to comply with the requirements and specify the artifacts or forms that will serve as evidence of compliance. For example, to complete the audit checklist, are floors, walls, ceilings, and fixtures inspected daily for damage, leaks, and condensation. So let's check the work instruction as part of the verification. So step one, daily facility inspection. Conduct daily visual inspection of floors, walls, ceilings, and fixtures for cracks, leaks, or condensation. Identify any areas showing signs of damage or moisture accumulation and report findings immediately for corrective action. For the records, daily inspection checklist, photo documentation of observed issues, corrective action reports. Step 2 is to issue reporting and tracking. Document any damage, leaks, or condensation detected during daily inspections. Assign corrective actions to responsible personnel with target completion dates and track resolution and verify completion of repairs. For the artifacts, daily issue log, corrective action tracking forms, follow-up verification reports. Step 3 is preventive maintenance coordination. Coordinate with maintenance to address recurring issues or high-risk areas, schedule inspection or repairs proactively to prevent damage or contamination risk. Update preventive maintenance plans based on daily inspection trends. For the records, preventive maintenance schedule, maintenance work orders, and inspection trend analysis. Step 4 is the staff awareness and training. Train staff to recognize early signs of damage, leaks, or condensation, communicate procedures for reporting daily findings, and reinforce the importance of maintaining facility integrity for food safety. For the records, training records, staff attendance logs, observation checklist of staff performing inspections. Step 5 is periodic review of daily inspection program. Evaluate effectiveness of daily inspections during management review or audits, review trends or identify recurring issues or areas requiring improvement, and update procedures or inspection frequency as needed. So for the artifacts, management review minutes, daily inspection program audits report, and SOP update records. Now, to provide evidence of compliance with this annual review item, so you may upload the facility structural condition daily inspection record. So this record documents a daily inspection of the floors, walls, ceilings, light fixtures, overhead structures, pipes, and ventilation or HVAC areas in the packaging area of ABC food processing plant. So the inspection verified that all surfaces and fixtures were free from damage, leaks, or condensation, ensuring a safe and sanitary environment for operation. And no issues were observed during this inspection, so no corrective action were required, and the signatures of both inspector and the supervisor confirmed that the inspection was conducted, reviewed, and completed in accordance with the facility's food safety and sanitation procedures. So this is just an example record that you can provide as proof of compliance, and your goal is to complete all these annual review items to keep your site fully prepared for both internal and external audits and compliance to 21 CFR 117. Finishing this checklist confirms your compliance and ensures you're audit ready at all times. At this point, you may now post your questions in the chat box, and please note that all inquiries will be reviewed to ensure each question is properly addressed. So we will cover this question in detail during next week training session. In the meantime, while some of you may still be typing your question, would like to invite you to join our other free certification familiarization training session held every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the afternoon Central Time. And please note that the CGMP training is scheduled separately at 1 o'clock in the afternoon every Tuesday. So these sessions cover various topics, including FSSC 22000 certification, BRCGS certification, SQF certification, FDA food code, and foreign supplier verification program compliance. So the sessions are open to everyone, so feel free to invite your colleagues or friends in the food industry to join this free training by sharing the Zoom meeting link with them. So you may also schedule a one-on-one CGMP compliance coaching session for personalized guidance on implementing and maintaining compliance with your site's CGMP requirements. So this concludes our training session on CGMP 117.20 plants and grounds building materials. Your training certificates will be sent to your registered email addresses, and we look forward to having you join us again next week for our next topic, light lightings and light fittings program, which covers another section under CGMP 117.20 plants and grounds. If you'd like to use our compliance software to manage your CGMP requirements, please complete the free certification familiarization training sign-up form in the chat box and indicate your request for software access to activate your 90-day free account. So this software provides access to the compliance dashboard, training management tools, customer and supplier requirements management, and digitized forms, ideal for those transitioning from a paper-based to a paperless system. If you have any questions, clarifications, or feedback regarding today's training, please don't hesitate to reach us out at hello@consultorinc.com. Thank you so much for your participation, and we wish you a pleasant day ahead.